All right. Okay. Hello, everybody. We are live. I want to say thank you. Thank you for the patience. We are late about a few minutes, but here we go. We're here. We are live, and we want to talk about a special topic today: Mercury retrograde. What happens with Mercury retrograde on our soul connections and the divine feminine, the divine masculine perspective in that positions. We are following the what's going on worldwide and what's going on within the energies, specifically this Mercury retrograde. Even my colleagues won't mention names, so that way we're not doing some commercial time. But even they said that this was probably the one of the things about the Mercury retrograde that was very strong, very powerful, but it was the best healing Mercury retrograde out there, establishing all this part of Mercury retrograde because he was where in Virgo, talking about this energy of deep, deep, deep root going in there. And this is what it's important that during the understandings of this, it is about you to be able to have the power, with this a feminine and a masculine energy, internally inside of yourself to navigate. What the beauty is, when the connection is there, the feminine and masculine energies of one will work with the feminine and masculine energies of other. And then it's going to be this mutual exchange that happens within the understanding. And without other overdue, I'm going to be giving you, Paulina, you guys can have a questions. So you guys can ask them up here. And I want to say thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Erica, for coming in. And to all of you who have questions, go ahead and ask about it.
Hi, Lorna. Hi, Erica. It's good to see you here. I feel like I will have some things to share today because for me, that was one of my favorite seasons. This Mercury retrograde. It was pretty hard, and I think it taught me a lot. It showed me not only power of myself, my inner work, but also of our connection. It all starts with this recognition that Mercury retrograde is a thing. Like for some, at the beginning of my journey, I didn't believe that it can impact you so much. And as much as I want to stay out of it, not to be like, we should be able to control it, there are sometimes things we cannot control, and we will have those situations coming to you to trigger you on this deep level. And I think it takes a really big effort to try to understand it and be um, maybe compassionate with yourself, that if it's messing up with your moods and with your communications, just to really be patient and just, if anything, just maintain this respect towards other people, because you may feel detached or you may feel that it's too much for you emotionally, but just um, I think it's a big lesson of patience and how to prepare for the next ones. Because I was asking Dio, does it end? Like, can you learn or teach yourself how to overcome this Mercury retrograde impacts? I don't think that's a thing. I think we have to learn to live with that and just somehow give ourselves more space for ourselves and also for the connection during those times. Because for now, I don't have a solution how to overcome this. So, but it's good to be back and just good to feel that there was some kind of a clearing, and I think many people can resonate with that. That it's just once you step into yourself, there are some processes that have are been going on and just helps you to get to next level.
Yeah, if you ever stop learning, then what is stopping? You're stopping your evolution. So you can stop overcoming Mercury retrograde. You can only understand it. And we talk about with you about this, and now we're gonna talk about people. I want to recognize Tiffany H and CF. Hi, CF. Hi, Rich. Thank you for coming in, guys. You said about something that before awakening, Mercury retrograde was like, yeah, it doesn't impact and doesn't does. Mercury retrograde, it's more impact within the awakening people. Hi, Elizabeth. And the awakening people, when they comes in, That is it because the internal communications between the personality in there and the soul and the spirit begins to be affected so much. And Mercury is the one who does. He's the messenger of God. He's the messenger of the sun. He's the messenger of the authority, which is that what the sun represents in the astrology. But when you look at it in the gravitational field, he is the one that spins so fast around the sun that, I mean, we cannot see it how fast it spins that much in there within us. So we always calculated that he's not to a certain space with close by, close proximity within the sun. But during the retrograde season of Mercury retrograde, once you awaken, he begins to telling you, look within you, look inside of your own self, who you are. What are you telling yourself? How are you talking to yourself? How are you talking to other? What is the expectations from within? But also Mercury retrograde does something very important. He established that inner connections within people. Specifically, we're talking about the inner connections within physical proximity. Let me explain a little bit there. You can have energy connections through long distance, through a camera, and so on. But there is something specifically about the close proximity in person. It's talking about that the two gravity fields are coming together, and there is a magic in there with this. And Mercury retrograde will give you these directions about the journey from within. You're learning the specific things during there. That is it. One of the communications are coming close in all levels. Why? Because the two gravity fields, they're coming together in there. Okay. And when we're talking about divine masculine perspective, the divine masculine perspective, learning a lot of the things like compassion, patience, respect, looking itself why he's angry, what is it looking at inside of himself, why it's agitating, what is this intense energies. And if you're able to talk to yourself, it's like, why I'm angry, why I'm agitated, what is that going to cause in the connection? Then the divine masculine matures, and using the divine feminine energies to, I have to be more soft, compassion, respectful, and supportive as divine masculine energy. I have to understand that during this process, the divine feminine energy working within itself to see her own work. It's talking about giving a space to your partner. So I'm gonna give the mic in there to Paulina talking
Yeah, I think
about.
that's a big point. Yeah, because first I just saw that, it's maybe about recognizing this season as it's not like the world is against us. It's just really a good chance to learn how to navigate that with yourself. And as you said, just develop this masculine side, just to be able to make a logical part out of it, just to understand yourself better. But then once you understand and you're detached, you may be feeling like you want to observe yourself from outside just to see what's going on, why those changes are suddenly coming. And then once you recognize that, just work with that and just be understanding towards yourself, be compassionate, and just work it out. Sometimes it's as much as just wait it out, but without making those very sudden changes or being agitated or just expressing it too much outwards to people. Like sometimes I just realize it's better just to wait and see. Maybe there will be like bad couple days, but just not to make any changes during that period, because that's not a good period to any make any changes, because your mind is at some parts like may not be thinking, I don't want to say straight, but it will you will have a lot of influence on emotional levels, so that's why you should not be acting on that. But this power of communication, I think that's what shines, because it's when you're in this messy state and you just test yourself how you can express even your uncomfort, like how can you really say about what you currently don't like, or what's uncomfortable for you, because maybe in the past you had troubles expressing that. So I think it's that shows the strength of the connection once, like how well you're expressing your needs, or maybe you need to withdraw yourself, maybe you need more space, maybe you need to even cut the connection for some time, like communication, but still within the respect, so the other side knows what's going on. Maybe you need to take a vacation just for yourself, so that's kind of like a training what you to share what you need at the current moment according to the energies, because like you don't want to fight those energies. If the energies are like, oh, it's much too much overwhelming, let me step back, the easiest way is just to go with that, but at the same time try to adjust your environment to it. But also, it depends how the other side is reacting to that. Like it shows you a lot whether someone will have some problems or some issues because you try to withdraw yourself, and will feel angry or disappointed, or will try to understand you and give you the space you need. So I think this is like it shows the maturity on both levels, on both sides, I would say.
Key word right there, maturity. You see what happens is that the way that she's explained it in there is like that feminine side that wants to withdraw. Why was the feminine side wants to withdraw? What is this energy like? I need time, I need space. What happens back in there? That was when Venus was retrograde. That was all these energies of this. Venus still is in her shadow of the retrograde. She's gonna come out on October 7th for everyone who wants to know. But if you are divine masculine energies and the divine feminine says like, you know what, I don't know about right now, I don't know, because of the communications of during the Mercury retrograde, you as the masculine is like, you know what, I can understand, you need time and space, I'm here for you to give it the time and space to figure things out, because you feel the connection is there, nothing's get lost. What it gets lost is there is things within the communications within the both individuals that it's required to step back, to look from within, how much better can be, how much more it needs to be looking at, what it needs to be shifted out, what is this issue, what is this challenges, what is that situations. Now, instead of putting it the situations as used to be at the Mercury retrograde, you guys know what I'm talking about. You're sending the nasty grams and you're sending all these messages that later on you're like, oh my God, I should have never said things like this before, or I never should have signed this contract, I never should have done this. There you go. That's what we're talking about. But now when you look at it within the soul and you look at it in the connection, actually the connections connecting the both individuals, divine feminine and masculine, with the divine feminine masculine perspective, and they look at it, what else needs to be improved. Huge improvement of the masculine, it's when the feminine withdraws, like, oh, they don't love me. No, that's not the truth. They love you, they just need the time for them. It's like a divine masculine is like, you know what, go ahead, work on yourself, I'll go ahead, work on myself. It is the same thing with the feminine that respects exactly that energy of the divine masculine that says like, okay, I'm here, if you need me, I'm here to support. That is what the beauty of this internal, because later on what happens is that the energy is going to kick back in, and then the whole energy is going to be gets better with this. I think that Lorna has a something in there. Thank you, Lorna. I was literally told I've been working for my karmic. I need to hear this as an over giver. I'm using this message to choose me all the way. I'm grateful for the retrograde. Yeah, choosing you. You need to understand when you're choosing you, it's not about you to choose yourself. It's like, you know what, screw, I'm done with this connection and so on and so on. No, it is about when you choose yourself, it is about to choose your soul from within. What is the soul tells you properly? It's like, okay, listen, the other side has to work on their issue. You're not worried about it. If they're gonna be doing this, you have your own issue. This is your issues. deal with it, but don't make a conflict about it. Because during the conflict within this, if there is no communications, or if it is not, if there is need for no communications, then the whole thing it comes in that it is the proper energy of putting with in you all the way. And that is the proper way. And if you're doing that, going it all the way within yourself, that it is what the environment, the gravity of Mercury retrograde created. And if you did that, happy for you.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks, Lord.
hi,
I think
Cece.
this is sorry. Is there the delay? I'm not sure. Hopefully not. Lorna mentioned good point because I think that I was going through similar things. Like we were trying to understand why this withdrawal, and there was some very intense emotions, and we were just trying to understand where it comes from because everything was smooth, and then suddenly I could see like gradual somehow those intense emotions emerge, and I think I was doing similar thing, but just for another person in my environment. So that was a big revelation, I think, because it helped me to understand that intensity. Like sometimes we can pick it up after people, from people. So maybe once we've done just major work for ourselves, I don't know. This is a natural way, I think, to maybe on the lookout. Okay, what else can I do? Who can I help? But it should be more maybe conscious, because sometimes you just take it over after someone and you don't know, and it can impact you very much. So I think maybe that's something specific to retrogrades, I'm not sure, but definitely I felt like I was doing work for someone else. So very interesting point. Thanks.
Uh, Cece is in the house. My brain house are conflicted with Paulina being on the left, but our beauty she is in there. Well, of course.
Oh, I'm not left. I didn't realize.
And yeah. Um, so talking about with this, sometimes we're doing this equality. Sometimes sometimes she is, and so on. That way, there is no one. People don't see that I'm putting myself first. We're just doing it the best as you can to show you this equality in there. Okay, it's not about like. So if you feel a little conflicted with this, don't be filled. CC. But Paulina said something very interesting. During the Mercury retrograde, if you finish your own work, you can tap into the collective. You can begin to transmute, okay? Transmute energy that you're transfigurating that energy, you're transforming it, but that is different. That could be a collective, that could be a family, that could be a just general collective energy. If you are paying attention, a lot of the people zipped that up. A lot of the people went into the hermit mode. And all of a sudden, if you're tapping into that energy in there, in that hermit mode was exactly this. But the best thing it is uh well, CC, like it or not, once you get done with your work, you're gonna be doing collective work. It's part of the business. It's comes with uh the fine prints in the bottom of you as a light worker. When you finish your own personal work, you're gonna be doing it. Yeah, you're gonna feel like you are reincarnate, and you don't have to leave your body. You're just the same body, you're just different mindset, and now you're working with the collective energies, and you don't like to work with the collective. Nobody does, right? Collective is the soup. Okay, talking about all this soup, but the soup is soup. It's made out of a lot of stuff, but that's what the beauty of the soup, that you can take what you like from the soup. And yeah, we're gonna talk about these soups for a while, but that's how it goes. But talking about like you to understand when is your own personal or when it's the collective. But also there is another lessons in there. Don't bring this stuff personally into the connections and that because when you take things personally within the connections, it's gonna be kind of like what is it going on? All of a sudden you're asking yourself, what that is going on? The beauty of Mercury retrograde that the internal connections, looking at from within, helps you to realize that everything that goes on, you basically, I don't want to say troubleshooting it, but you actually getting in there and you get the right messages, the right energies. And then you're going to be applying by using it in the proper actions and the proper thinking first before that. And what the amazement of the connections is that the connections stays there. Even if you have issues on outside with the Mercury retrograde, connections is gonna be stays there. It's gonna be coming, and the connection is gonna tell you, you have to polish this. You have to polish this. Oh, you've done your work. Let's give you this collective work. Oh, you're done with this. Let's give you this collective work. And then you're like, oh my God, what's going on with us? Why we are transmuting this? And I'm like, I see our connections. I see our energies between us. There is nothing wrong in there. What is going on? Oh, well, that is a collective. But that's somebody else. And we talk. We see where did that come from. It's all of a sudden it's not there anymore. And that's what is going on. So Cici wants another job. I've been feeling that deal. Andrea. Hi, Andrea. Thank you for coming in. No salmon soup. Oh, come on. Salmon soup is good, Cici. Come on. Andrea. That's cool. Cici, nobody touched my ex. Oh, I forgot about it. Cici is about on salmon mode. And there, Cici for Paulina, did you experience rage, anger, frustrations, and what did you do? Ooh.
Yeah, so as uncommon as it for me, I did. Honestly, there was a lot of frustration. I don't know if that was internal frustration or outside frustration, but that was a very intense time. Like I just didn't feel like I want to deal with all of that. That those issues cannot be solved. You know, the world cannot be changed. I'm done. Let me just go to my cave. I will be better off just discovering universe on myself. You know, on my own. At the same time, having this negativity, I would say, like it was really weird because I was trying to stay objective and stay out of it, and I saw like this is not mine. It felt very old. I felt like I was replaying some of the experiences, like emotionally, some of the experiences from the past. So there was a clearing on that. But this age, rage and frustration definitely was just, and I was not proud of it, you know. And one mistake you can do is maybe to feel guilty for that. Like you cannot be guilty because if these emotions were not supposed to come, maybe if you're suppressing them too much or if you're not used to, maybe that's the best time for them to surface, you know, during that period. So I think you should not be suppressing them. You have to allow that, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just, of course, like mind can be telling you, you know, you're angry with everyone else, but you don't act on it. You know, you just observe it. And I think one thing, it's that's one thing, just be compassionate towards yourself. You're not, oh sorry, my computer just dropped. You're not guilty of anything. You know, this is natural state. You have just to have this emotional experience during that time. But also one other thing is just to communicate that. Just don't hold it within you. Don't think it's, you know, I cannot share that with my partner because I don't want to show my dark side, or I don't want to share my complaining side, and it's just because he may not like it, or you know. So as much as it was uncomfortable even to share those during those periods, I wanted to communicate everything because, you know, I don't want to feel like I need to cherry pick what I can share with my partner. It's more, I want to share everything because I'm doing it for myself. It's up to the other person how he or she's gonna react. So I think it's, we cannot take a responsibility for how other people will be reacting. It's just your job is just to share it, I think, and that's your responsibility for yourself, to share it. And just remember about this respect, you're still dealing with another human. You don't want to express or maybe say anything bad towards the person, because the person is not guilty. But just make sure that you're expressing. If you're uncomfortable, just speak about that, and just maybe both you can find a solution that it's faster than just holding it within you and just putting more pressure to the connection. So that's kind of an advice I could share.
See, that's what it's the mature way. You to be mature from within you to get that power of controlling and you to say what you have to say. Not like cherry picking, you picking what you put in and make the things beautiful when they're actually not. And talking about the sharing through all this process is also going to be testing the maturity of the other side, which that would be me. My approach as a masculine energy was like, okay, I can understand this. Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm supporting you. Let's see what is this came from. Okay, work on this. Look within yourself. I know you take your time. I will not be kind of like interfere within whatever it is. For me, it was this energy of not to be like, oh, come on, there is always I had, looking at about problems. He's always like this. He's always like that. I'm like, cool. What are you doing with yourself? So Mercury retrograde helped me to look at it and develop the divine masculine energy. It's like, okay, there is something else is up here. Wait a minute. Chill. Chill here, Baba. Let's see what's going on. Look at it and you understand during this process, the person has the inner work to do. And he tells you, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that. I have to figure out why. And I need to do this on my own. Please respect me, give me the time and the effort. And you, as a divine masculine in there, I'm giving you the freedom. And I'm not going to be this things. I'm not going to be codependent. I'm not going to cry. Don't call me. I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to be in these situations that, oh my God, what the heck? It is this, what is it going on? Because you feel it. The connections is there, is strong. But there is some things that needs to be fixed. That doesn't mean this is only a temporary situations. And now when you see it as a divine masculine energy, it's not like, well, she doesn't know how to do this. She doesn't know, then this whole thing goes nuts. Okay, no. Your divine masculine powers comes in with respect of what is going on. Huge, huge divine masculine support. Let her mature. Let her grow. I trust her. I believe in her. Let her do her things. Let's find out her own truth within. Let her do all that. Let her go through what she has to go through. All I have to do is standing next to her. Let the connections talk to itself. But you are not withdrawing from the connection. You give a freedom with the connection. Is that freedom that we're talking about? You open the cage and it's like, here we go, birdie. You can fly. Put you in the window. You can choose. That is the energy that the divine masculine is radiant with the wisdom from within. But that heals the codependency, lust traits. You to now be a codependent one. It's very beautiful Mercury retrograde. But through this energy is in there is the growth. The personal maturity and growth. As Paulina said, that maturity there. That was the mature, but mature feminine seeks to mature more, but the mature masculine, you have to understand the process of the feminine. How can I understand the process though? With his own feminine from within. Deep root connecting to its own feminine side. And that's what the masculine understands, the process that goes on as a feminine. And guess what? When you as a divine masculine give to your divine feminine partner everything, the support, the need, the understanding, the respect, the trust, guess what happens with the divine masculine energies inside of it, your divine feminine? Aha, I have everything that I need. I'm secure. I feel good. And then the love grows and helps the person to understand, the both of them to understand what they have to do. Huge maturity in this process. And there. So, Cici, thank you for the question. Elizabeth, oops, I had a little bit of drama last week. Already put my foot in my mouth. Oh, wow. Drama. Elizabeth, if you want to share and if you want some anything, we're here. We can help you. Chrissy B, hi. Hi, thank you for coming in. And yeah. That
Yeah, I
was a
wanted to
good
comment
question.
on one,
Go
or
ahead.
maybe, yeah, thanks, Cici. That was a good question. One thing was like, still, we need to remember that you have to share with your partner, because otherwise, if the partner is getting confused because you suddenly changes your mood or changes um your mindset about the connection, or you're different than how you used to be, of course the other part will be getting confused. So I think that's why you need to explain that, because just remember how you're acting if someone is not clear with his intentions towards yourself. Like that creates this tension in the connection, that creates those doubts. So it's again like you cannot change yourself. Like if those moments and situations come to you, they will be coming, but it's up to you. You have to communicate that, because otherwise you would be hiding from you but also from the partner, and like what there will be no clear situation between you two. So I think that just proves like we do it also for another person. Like we don't want them to feel confused. Like it's never comfortable. So I think just it just proves, don't hide those things. And if the connection is supposed to continue, you know, the partner will understand. Just don't be afraid of that, because otherwise you don't want to be in a situation that you choose, oh, I have to share this, but if I share, I may lose him. Oh, maybe I shouldn't share it. In that moment you're just take from your freedom, so I wouldn't advise that. It's just somehow you have to take this courage, to share that everyone is okay to have a bad day sometimes. And those times, they always, if those uncomfort comes to you or you have some issues to deal with, that means that there is some work that has to be done, either on your personal level or within the connection, or maybe you need to clear some of the past experiences you had. So just give yourself this opportunity by acknowledging. And one thing, and also another thing is, with you mentioned this masculine approach, divine masculine approach. And the way I see it is, once we recognize the divine masculine in us, in ourselves, and we start caring about each other, just understanding what's happening with us and taking it, okay, that's an issue I have to deal with, like, okay, this masculine approach, then the rest of people, it will also, it will mirror that. So if you're compassionate, if you're understanding, if you want to deal with that on your personal level, the outside world will be adjusting to it. So you will get the support that you need to resolve this issue. But it's always those internal um, like internal talks you will have during this time. If you have a proper mindset and you really take a proper approach towards yourself, the other, the partner and environment in general will be helping you to resolve it. So it's just this inner world, outer world perspective.
Yeah, and also if you pay attention there, it's testing the love. Are you loving in the good, the bad, and the ugly side? See, during this period there, it's kind of like one of the tests that you already had on mental, that doesn't matter what's going to happen, the connection is going to go. But it's different when during the Mercury retrograde, during that intense energies, during those heavy retrogrades. I mean, we almost had like all planets was retrograde except Mars, which that was in the masculine energies. But when we're talking about all those energies and that have been in retrograde in there, it is about one of the big tests is about the connection, the love, the compassion towards each other, the truth within each other, and the respect. First of all, the personal respect towards yourself. As Paulina said, you don't pick and choose what you're gonna tell your partner. Tell everything. Then you don't do in other times. You know, worry if they're gonna say, you know what, I'm done, right? And I'll worry about it. Why? Because inside of you, you know the connection is strong. And if it's true love, they will understand you. And that helps you not to have fear to say, because your partner is not judging you. Your partner is there to understand you. It helps you if you need it, giving you the support. But it's required what? As Paulina said, the truth. Because the truth is the one that keeps the connections. It's getting that respect of everything, and then is doing the beauty of the masculine energies. Because what the masculine energies want from one family, the truth. They want to know what they're doing. They want to know where is it going on. It's like, okay, let's talk, let's figure things out, let's see it. Interesting. That's what the masculine power is. How about you check this? How about check that? How about if this energy is not even ours? You know what was the funny when we find out that it was not even ours? We are transmuting energy to somebody else. You learn it because your test has been done on the mental level. You got it, but into human expressions, you have to get into a position of somebody else. And all of a sudden, all this is just like you're understanding on everything.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
interesting to see how it really
Elizabeth,
resolved.
thank you, dear. And Paulina, my TF contact me after many months, so trigger my past memories. So I think perhaps came up for clearing. It's good that it contacting in there, but during other contacts, you need to learn to have this communications in there. It's not like I don't feel like it or whatever. All right, communications is really a big key. If they comes in for something to clear, what do they want to clean? Do they want to clean up emotional stuff, energy stuff, karmic situations, or maybe a material situations, 3D stuff, and so on, or something heavy that is in the heart? So look at it in there. If you're feminine, caring for them, you're learning how to care for yourself. The way you care for yourself, be caring for your man. That's kind of cool. It is the same thing as the masculine energies. If you're in the masculine energy, is like this security, this protections, this environment that you give to the feminine. It's like, I'm not gonna harm you. You're secure with me. Okay, that is what is. You, that way, the divine feminine, divine masculine are actually say to each other, "You're safe with me." And if that's what happening
That's
with you, Elizabeth, it's beautiful. There you go, darling.
cutting in because I can see also another perspective. For some people they might not be in contact with their twin. Like I don't know, Elizabeth, what's your situation? But it just came to me. We may have those connections coming back from the past, but instead of looking, oh my god, like he wants to reach out, probably we're gonna be together, or have any projections toward that. I think it's a good chance just to observe the progress you've made. Just to comparing. Okay, when was it the last time that, for example, we separated, or whatever? If you had a gap, in time, just to see how much work you've done, and maybe you will realize like this connection doesn't resonate with you anymore. Like you just realize like you have you know what kind of relationship you want, you know what kind of values should your partner have, and you will recognize that not all of that was healthy, you know. So I think that's, I can see how those connections from the past, they will be reaching out, like I noticed the same, you know. But then I realized also I found my spot. I've done my work. I saw that experience was supposed to show me some of the things that I was not able to see before. But this connection kind of dissolved. I don't want to say like I'm not rejecting anything. You cannot reject those connections, but just see it as your personal progress from that perspective. Because I think it always helps you to see how much you've grown with all the connections that you had. Just a little bit note of that.
Very great point, because during this Mercury retrograde, it's gonna replace something from your past, like your past connection will comes in, your past fights that you had, your past clearing, mm, any unspoken things from within yourself, any unfinished things that it's from within, and it's gonna comes in, it's gonna triggers you. And this is why during this Mercury retrograde, a lot of the people feel the need to communicate with other during this guilt and shame, and it's like you feel like, oh my god, what is with me? I never felt like this, right? It's the self guilt tripping inside of it that Mercury is like, hey, look within yourself, that was good, that was right, that was the situations. But the good part within all this, it's telling you, because you can feel the person where that comes in, why contact you, where you are, and what is your choices is. Because you understand that if the person have not matured, not developed to that level that you are, it's not gonna help you. Because you're gonna missing exactly this divine feminine, divine masculine understanding of the more crucial moments of time, when you are down, when you are withdrawing, you're doing it. You just see to understanding and there what the love is, the power of the love, the power of the connections. You're gonna find it out in a huge, beautiful way. Huge, beautiful way. Especially if you're your divine masculine energy within yourself, you're gonna be appreciated that of the support of the feminine when the feminine do its inner work. Not like, oh well, the feminine is down, then the feminine is down, she tracks me down, what the heck I'm going to do, I'm just gonna be go and beat my head to the trees, and Dio, did you did all that again? It's deeper meaning from to yourself. That's how the divine masculine is up, grow up, mature up, built itself up, and learning to remove this codependency there and be a wise man. Give everything, give the destiny the way it is. And that is a strength, courage, dignity, vulnerability. Powers that most men don't have, but they're seeking to develop. They're seeking to develop. And that's what we make in this video.
Mhm. I think that's a good test also for the connection, right? Like it's just you cannot test your connection, that strength and truth, if things are good. If everything is smooth, you know, it's easy. I think it's maybe even you need this kind of a reassurance, like what will happen if those bad moments start to emerge. There are some conflicts or something that is not clear. You don't have a something is not right with you. You have some inner work to do. So I think it's just those kind of moments shows you like how will you be acting, you know, if those hard moments start to appear, because like you cannot be in bubble love phase all, you know, all the time. Sometimes you have to do your work, but if you go through those episodes with another person hand by hand, it's just like that's the best proof you can get, because you know, also I remember I got this idea that that's how we will remember for the future. You know, anytime those things happen, those experiences, like you will remember them and you will be okay. I've been there. There was a bad period. It was not comfortable, but we went through this together. So I think that's building this reassurance and proper foundation for the connection. So with this, I just wanted to maybe emphasize that you cannot be afraid of those in those moments that you feel like you need to express yourself, even express your doubts about the connection. You're testing yourself, like, can you speak for yourself? But also you need to have this faith. And here's like this divine perspective comes in, like if it's meant to be, like it will sustain, like nothing will happen to the connection will continue. You have to just recognize and be ready for anything, just with this thought, like if it's meant to continue, it will, like, not the person won't go anywhere, because you that would mean that you both did the work. But just imagine the other scenario, that you share your perspective, you share your fears, and the other part responds, oh, I'm done with it, I don't need that in my life, and he runs away. Instead of seeing it, oh my god, I made some mistake in a connection and now the person ran away, just to see a different way. It may happen, but at the same time it just proved to you that that person didn't do their work, because instead of trying to understand there's an issue, let's solve it together, the person ran away because he doesn't want to have a drama. So it's just, this maybe explains this runner perspective, just not to be afraid of, like, you cannot control other people actions. It's just those are the tests for the connections, basically, and we have to be courageous enough to have the faith, that's okay, this one will sustain, like this, I trust this person, I have a faith with this person, I want to be vulnerable and just open to see, like, does he want to support me, or she wants to support me, or she will say, oh, I'm running away because it's too much drama to me to handle. So I think those are precious moments, and it makes everything even more clear, because you see who you're dealing with. Mm.
It was beautiful. Actually, it was beautiful. We went with this because that way, as Paulina said, it's the connection. But also, you can understand as a divine masculine perspective about the connection. You have that support of the divine masculine with you. You got the support, understanding, and you got this patience. Patience, my friends. If you're divine masculine out there and you're trying to prove to yourself who you are, let's have some people testing your patience. That's going to make you wise to make the right decisions. You're going to develop this courage to keep on walking. Doesn't matter what. You're going to be testing yourself abilities to be what you're meant to be. The big prize is about after you prove to yourself, not only to yourself, you're proving to the divine and you're proving to your partner. And then you know what happens to the connections. It blooms like a beautiful flower that has been waiting to bloom. But as I said, as we said to you guys, it took both of us to be our true selves. So if you guys have some any more questions or anything, guys, wanted to ask us, we're here, or you have any topic, go ahead.
We forgot probably to mention about those moments. At least I'm speaking from my perspective. You may feel that you're even detached from your connection with your inner self, or with your universe, however you name it. Because that's also some kind of a weird test of fate. Because speaking from my experience, I felt detached from everything. Like I was in this limbo state, that I felt like there is nothing that tries to communicate with me. Like I'm even losing connection with myself. Like I'm totally detached from, I just observe myself as a person. I can see some weird changes that are happening to me. At the same time, I'm trying to look for some guidance. There is no guidance, and I think that's will be happening. Like we cannot stay connected for, all the time, because of course, like it's heavy on our minds, it's heavy on us as a human. So we need to have those times to recharge, but just to maybe remember that this is temporary, because like it was a little bit frustrating. I was like, oh, have I lost this connection for forever? Like what happens? But it's just, again, just remembering that there is no, everything is temporary. Like those times will be coming up, because also you have to embrace this human experience. You cannot be connected. It's the way I see it is, for you there's opportunity. What are you going to do with your time when it just really, you're on your own? You don't have a guidance. You just have to take responsibility for what, how are you dealing with your issues. So that's maybe not to get, again, guilty about it, or maybe scared that you lost the connection, because this is the moment of test. Because the way I saw it, the connection was somewhere up, very far. I don't want to say up, but far away. I could sense it, but it was not direct communication. Still, there was this little light that was telling me, oh, there is some inner voice that was kind of reminding me, what's real, what's true, and to stick to it and just continue, not do any weird moves, not to act on emotions. It's just as if this inner voice was trying to remember in those crucial moments. But in general, the connection was very, very low, very slight, and it was very weak. So this is just another test. And also I think it's just, those are the moments that we are playing our human part of this experience. Also to remember to ourselves, probably, how rich is this spiritual part of our lives, because you may feel, okay, I'm detached, and then something is missing. It's like, I used to live like that, but I don't want to live like that anymore. Like I really like the spiritual part. Like it makes my life more beautiful. So I think it's, those periods are just showing many, many things all at once. That's why it's overwhelming. But if you are able to learn the proper things, just to observe this time, rather than, being angry that, oh my God, it happens again. I don't want to have Mercury retrogrades again. Because there is so much out there you can learn about yourself, connections, and the work that you still have to do, or those kind of, or maybe work you're doing for the collective, as we were saying. So exciting times.
One thing that we definitely forgot to mention in there. Sometimes I know about, we're giving you a more advanced style in there, but in those interconnections with the guidance, there is no guidance. What are you gonna do? Are you all the time depending on the guidance from above you, depending on the divine's energies to tell you what to do? All of a sudden, you're gonna have this moments of the connections test. Is the connection's truth? Well, remember, the teacher is always silent. You're not gonna have guidance. You don't need guidance anymore. You graduate. You don't need anybody else to tell you what you can do. It's you. That also helps you to understand the value with you being in your own maturity within yourself, but also learns you one big thing. The divine doesn't have to babysit you. The divine doesn't have to guide you all the time in your life. You reach to the point that you have yourself own higher true self navigating you. But you need this test. This test and there. And the test first is a communication, mental, spiritual, in the heart, and so on. But there's gonna be also a test in the 3D. This is how you bring the heaven on earth. When you practice it, as Apollina said, she almost cried. It's about like you're missing the divine. You kind of like you feel like something's missing. Yes, you feel something's missing, and that missing, that energies of this missing in there You see the connection is it all the way up there, but you're down there, and in this moment, it's like, what the is going on, right? And you're like, yes, here, just grab my hand. That's okay. We know what is it. Okay. But when you go, when you pass after that, after you go, your connection is just gets more connected, but also is getting bigger. And it removes all the, what was they called, the doubts or second doubts or second thoughts or things that's in there, because it's profound. Okay, it is a test from the divine, it's a test from within you, it's a test within both individuals, putting to this pressure. You sustain that, what are you going to do? But when you graduate, because you graduate first in the spiritual realm, you graduate there, and the spiritual realm is like, okay, I've been waiting for you to put you to test, guys. Oh, I've been waiting for a couple, you know. And you're like, okay, well, we're mature. We are graduate. We know what's happening. Really? You have to prove you graduate. You have to prove you deserve what it's written in there. What are you telling to them? You have to experience it personally. There is no more different than the twin flame journey when you become awakened. You think it's something different that you have to do once you're in a union with partner? No. It's the same thing. Just a little bit more beautiful in a way. Because now we have this understanding, this support from both in communications. Not like before, when you begin to awaken, you separate, and ever since the separations, it's personal journey. Here you are testing. Are you guys gonna be separate? You guys gonna repeat the same thing as you just did it before when you became awakened in the twin flame journey? Pressure, right? Boiling soup, stirring the pot. Yeah. Talking about fun stuff. Okay, you have to look at it, the funny part of the journey as well. But looking at it in the side of it, you're doing something very beautiful. You're doing everything with your true self. Mm, I'm gonna call, I'm gonna block it. Oh, that stuff's not there anymore. You're mature. You're like, man, I know what happened now in the previous connections. I know what happened before on that stage. I'm not going in there. I graduate. I'm done with it. I'm practicing what I learned. And during that Mercury Retrograde, things can may get huh? Guess what? They bring a huge maturity in both individuals. All right. Thank you. He did block me again. Very much true, Paulina.
That's okay. Let's keep blocked you. There will be others who won't block you. So
Mm. Vijay. Hi, Vijay. Thank you for being here. Vijay, I still think I have lessons to from third party, I guess, which is blocking my journey. If the third party is with the person in the other side, think about what is it. Maybe there is a purpose there for the third party. If the third party is actually within you, what is that party brings within yourself into the journey? So if you have some lessons that have to be learned in there, they're gonna be learned. But I'm looking at within this that some of those lessons, because you cannot learn within the connection, you have to learn it with somebody else. And this is why a lot of the people they're stuck like, oh, there is only one twin flame. Yeah, there is only one twin flame. That's you. You're the twin flame. But that's gonna take some quite a long time until people figure it out. So later on, when you move to the journey, then when you become, you understand flame journey, prepare to become a divine purpose. It's a different story. But talking about like you telling it's only this person who doesn't work, this person who's blocking you is not willing to do the work, and so on. They don't even act, talk, or believe as a twin flame, and they are. Their action shows of what they are. They're not in that journey. They're not self-developed themselves as it. Okay, they're not. They're not there yet. So yeah, Lorna, same work, more magic. Oh boy, the magic. What was that?
More magic and more awareness, right?
Yeah,
That helps navigate that.
man.
This is
Well,
also talking to Vijay's point. I think that's, there is no such thing like nothing can really block you on your journey. I think it's just, if anything, I always try to look the patterns that we repeat, because you will be getting feeling stuck and things will not move unless you do the right move. So maybe there is something you can try to look inside you, just to see what kind of patterns you're repeating, or what kind of fears that are holding you back. Maybe there's some decision that you felt like you have to do, but you're afraid. So normally we are not supposed to be stuck on a journey, because the journey itself, like, it wants us to grow. So we are the only ones who are putting blocks on ourselves, not the other person. There is no such, like, there is no third party which blocks you. So it's just your something that maybe you are missing on your side.
the divine feminine intuition. Man, right there. Okay. Well, does anybody have anything else to say or anything? Any more questions? Or you guys have a topic? Let us know in there. But this navigating through, uh, ooh, Elizabeth, this navigating to Mercury retrograde, you're gonna have tests. As you know, it previously Mercury retrograde, there was also a test from it. So I'm gonna handle it. How about interference from other people? Ooh, ooh. Interference. Interference from other people can be on so many levels. That could be spiritual and emotional and energetic. Energetic interference, that is it when someone comes into you when you don't want to have nothing. It's like, what are you doing? I don't need it. Because their focus is about to you. Their focus is about you are within them and so on and so on. But that's only an energetic level. It's in 5D's energies that it comes in. There's nothing in the 3D. This is why it's important that this energetic interference inside of it, and that can be just because the other side doesn't have the courage, while the masculine side that they don't have the balls to make the call and to do the right things. And you can feel that interference. You can also feel interference by other people's comments. All of a sudden, somebody comments something. It's like, "Oh, I did not know about this. I didn't know about that." Or people can come in. It's like they're gonna be what it's called poking the bear. Oh, but why is this is like this? If I was like you, maybe I would have done something else. Just because they don't like what you have, because they cannot get what you get, or whatever the situation is. The interference could be in so many ways. The interference, it's one of the biggest key to understand that that's what the lessons of the twin flames it's coming. is the people to understand it. When two people are in love, it doesn't matter if they're in love. There is a soul connection, energy connections, and so on. Don't interfere. Why you have to stick your nose when it's not belong to you? That was the very first time when the person will wake me up. There was a huge interference. There was interference from friends, co-workers, managers. The whole company knew about it. What happened to that connection? It was nothing but the nightmares, right? But when we're talking about this interference, that interference helps me to rise up. You are here as a twin flame to take all that bad experience, take it with you, transmute it, and go with it. Turn the pain, power. That's who you are. If I stopped back then, about 10 years ago, because of interference, I stopped back then 10 years ago, none of you are gonna have those videos. There's gonna be all this work within the collective. You wouldn't be able to do all this. What are we doing now? And I would have been there, right now here with her, talking to you guys. But it takes what? Strength and courage. So if there is interference, don't pay attention to it. Charge forward, move forward, fall forward, but don't quit. Quitters never win, and the winners never quit. This is what Twin Flames has. This is what the power of the Twin Flames is with them. What's next? What is coming next? Oh, somebody wants to interfere. Who are you? Oh, well, you don't get that. Why? Why do you want to interfere? Why is that? I'm not interested in that. I don't need somebody to interfere in my connection. I'm done with this. Long time ago. So, but very good questions, actually. Back to you, darling.
Now, just one comment on this interference. There can be interference when you are too much attached to what other people will say about the connection. It's just you just need to know your truth. It's just okay. It may look weird from the outside. People will may be surprised why you're doing this. The logic doesn't doesn't prove. There is no background in logic with that. You just have to accept that. It's not weird. It's just that's the way the connection develop, and that's this person. There's people have no idea, honestly, like we are each of on our journey. So just don't be attached to what other people are thinking. But there is interference, but there are also mirrors. So especially in this case that VJ said, maybe it's not like block. Okay, the other person will show you the block. They are not. They just come to you to show you where are you stuck. They are not even meant to interfere with you. Like they just appear. It's you that you keep them engaged in your field. So I think it's just treat everyone as a more like a mirror, because honestly that's what people are showing you when they come to you, right? It's just, and if you have interference, that just it shows to you that you allowed for that. So there is probably some personal boundaries that you have to work on, but still this just shows you the work that you have to do, because normally you wouldn't agree on other people interfering with your field and saying you what you have to do, or put some judgment on that. So
Exactly, because you're giving the power of that interference. You not doing the things from within yourself. You basically said, I give my power to this third party, to this interference. They to control and they to rule me. And now when I do that, what is the truth within you? How many times couple or people or parents or a culture or religions is being controlling and suppressing the love? Way too many times. And that's what this journey as a twin flame comes in to say enough is enough. This world needs to be beautiful. It's built and it's created for love. And we have to do our job bringing heaven on earth. That's what the soul wants you to create. God creates you in your image to create, not to destroy or distort. But the people with the ego, they come to destroy, to have that interference. And they interference and they destroy themselves. Usually that's what actually happens. The people who interfere with the connections. Seen it so many times. See some divine interference as well, which is usually is not. Okay, I hope there's enough. Divine has its own way. Okay, guys? Understand. When a divine wants to comes in and show you something, they show you, and they want to make sure you see it. That's all they do. So. All right, Elizabeth, will that be a third party? Oh, it could be in a huge way. It depends on the agenda of the third party. The agenda of the third party could be they want to steal the energy. They want to have the same energy as you give to your twin flame. The third party could be agenda, could be material possessions, could be energy, could be emotional or any other support, mental or whatever support, and so on with that. It all depends on what the third party agenda is. Sometimes those are the people who, they cannot do things within themselves and they try to steal other people's. They treat people like possessions in there. It all depends what is that. But that will be the third party. Oh, heck yeah. So, Link, if you want to make comments or something.
This is too low. No, I said what I was meant to say. If you feel anything as an interference from third party, and you feel like someone is stealing from you, like this is too low. Like why you're even bothering with that? Why you're not keeping your boundaries? Like why you don't respect yourself? So it's, I don't know. It's just this. I don't see it as other people coming to our field want to hurt us. It's like of course they will if you allow them to, but just keep your boundaries.
Yeah, and also you have to understand it. If sorry, baby, you need to finish. Huh? Okay. Also, you need to understand that if someone puts you in a third party, the third party could be immediate family. That could be a parents put it in there. You need to understand if your partner puts something between you and them, they're not ready to have this connection with you. You need to understand it. Doesn't matter what that is. Period. They put something between you and them, they're not ready for this beautiful connections in there. Because everyone else outside of them, it belongs to the universe. Everyone. Doesn't matter. That's the parents, that's uncles, co-workers, bosses, best friends. None of that. But if there is something in there between the connections, you put something, or something else is more important to it, then all of a sudden that will interfere in there as a form of third party. And they're not ready to count these connections with you. Basically, they're putting something within the bubble zone that begins to create separations. And usually the person who does that and allows that, he's missing things. And as Paulina said, some of those things, they're not even worth it because they're too low there. But it all depends of the situations in there.
No, I didn't mean the people. It's more about the mindset, how you see that. It's not to, like, Uranus is not meant to engage with those because it just shows you, you just have to, everything should be built from this space of like I would say peace within the people. We don't want to create drama, so it's just interference. It just feels like you invite some unhealthy behaviors into your connections and you just allow it. So I think it's just inviting this, even like sometimes a toxic behavior. So it's just If anything, it's our job just to stay clean out of it, because it's, of course, there are sometimes work that we have to do, but just recognize that when some people are trying to control us in any way or put some conditions on us, it's just your responsibility to keep and speak for yourself. Mm.
Carol, hi, thank you for coming in. The Mac have it, the magic. Magic. I love the word magic in there, but you need to understand at some point the magic is just the one part of using the energy. You can use the magic to help yourself, to do something, or so on. Okay, you can use the magic to do some things and damage connections and so on. But it's a magic. The magic is when you transform yourself. Okay, that's what this is. When you change yourself. Then, if you're a magician, if you make a magic, then whatever magic you're making out there is reflections of the magic. But you first create that magician within yourself. Okay, this beautiful personality with spirituality within yourself, with this philosophy and the divine guidance. Vijay, I agree. I have to leave my hometown. Oh, that's the case. Probably is gonna be for good. Maybe something waits for you in another town, another place on earth. You never know. Elizabeth Garrett, thank you guys. You're welcome, Elizabeth. All right. So if there is no more questions or anything, we can wrap this up. And what I want to say in the end about this Mercury retrograde handling the best thing with this during the Mercury retrograde is to listen to your soul and feel the connections that you have. The connection will teach you how to maintain through the bad side, to the bad moments, to the downs. That's going to make you strong. Never doubted the will. Doubt kills more than anything else in this. But when the connection is there, it's still there. Even with, as a police said, there was some kind of like a little light. Trust, first of all, within yourself, within the divine, that if it's true connection, it will go through anything. And that anything sometimes is exactly this, which is kind of like show you here. So, Mike is all yours.
No, I think we summarized that this last period we had. It was pretty quiet on our side, but yeah, I was like, I don't feel like going out to people, and Dio said I wouldn't allow you even to go and talk to people this state. But it's again like I recognize that I saw something is not right. There is some work that has to be done, and I feel that it's changed me somehow. I don't know, like probably some more things are coming, but I feel ready. Like I feel purified in a sense. So I think this is the power of those retrogrades. Like, don't waste this time. It's like they will be creating some weird situations in your life. People reaching out of nowhere, just remind you about the work that you have to do, or maybe the work you have to do for themselves. But just maybe for the next ones, it's just being mindful that whatever comes to you, maybe it's your work, maybe not, but it's not get engaged too much emotionally. Just communicate with the with people the way you feel, and don't feel guilty about those times, because as I understood, they will be coming every year, or I don't know even how many Mercury retrogrades there are, two, or is it more per year?
Well, it all depends. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4, but with the pre-shadow and after shadow period, Mercury is retrograde energy half of the year. an
Yeah.
average.
So just be patient. And it always brings something new to the connection, and it shows you a lot, right? Because it will create some uncomfortable situations.
Exactly.
Still exciting.
All right, Lorna, thank you for sharing your journey with us. You're welcome, guys. You guys welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to hear from you. For your comments, we're looking. If you guys need anything as an assistance or help, you guys can reach us out. And yeah, Aqua Spirit United, that is our website. You can go ahead and check it out if you have not yet. Put some details into the descriptions of the video. But guys, thank you. Thank you for watching. And more is coming towards you. All right, guys. Thank you. I love
Thank
you.
you.
Be loved.
Thanks for your questions, and see you next time. Good luck with